Hi. She beat me to it. Welcome, everybody, to Legends of the Wind. I'm Jurri Schenck, and I have with me tonight... Who's this?
I forgot. Maybe it was Kylie.
No, I don't think that's it. Who is it?
I think it's Kylie. It's Kylie.
Kylie, that's right. This is Kylie, my wonderful, beautiful daughter. Welcome to the show, everyone. This is Legends of the Wind, where we tell stories that are inspirational, prophetic, and helps people discover their identity and destiny. Now, some of the things I want to communicate right off the bat is why these stories are so special. These stories aren't just the usual story. They're short stories that tap into people's lives. And I've written them, and many of these people I don't know, or I've never researched, never interviewed, and yet the stories I get as a download really touches their hearts and has specific things that really impact them in their lives. That they touch on things that are actually in their lives, or speaking about their future. I want to give a personal example of this. So back in LA, when we were living there about 10 years ago, I was engaged to my wife, Alisha. And her parents are from Korea, and they were coming to visit. And they didn't want to see me. They were not happy about our engagement. And my Alisha was like, well, we have to be ready for you to meet them at any moment. They were going to go to Disneyland, and at the very last moment, Alisha's dad says, okay, I'm going to see Jurri. So I rushed, got the word from Alisha, I rushed to take a shower. I had to get into a suit, be dressed really sharp, and meet my potential father-in-law and mother-in-law and her brother. And while I was in the shower, I started getting this story. These pictures were coming to me and this words, and I knew I was getting a download. I was like, oh man, I have to write this down. I've got to get done ready as soon as possible. So I ran out, got dressed, and I started writing the story on my laptop. And I could sense that there was someone standing next to me that was kind of reading from a scroll or paper the story. And the story, I'll give it briefly, is about two close friends who owned a flower shop. And they were out walking in the field one day, and they discovered a flower that could sing. And it was a beautiful flower, and it was singing in amongst a field of all sorts of other plants. And they thought, wow, we should take this flower back to our flower shop. So they uprooted the little singing flower, and they took it to the flower shop and put it in a tiny pot. Well, the singing flower started to grow, and it started growing too big for the pot, and soon it started dying, and they didn't know what was going on. And so they felt really sad about this beautiful singing flower, and they realized we have to take it back to where it belonged. This flower pot is too constraining. So they decided to break the flower pot, take out the soil and everything, and they took it back to the field and put it in the ground where they found it. And then it started to blossom, grow, come alive, and be beautiful and prosper. Now, I got this written down, I printed it out, and I went to meet my parents, Alicia's parents. And they were jet-lagged. They had just flown many hours from Seoul, Korea, and they were very, very tired. And I shared with Alisha this special story, and she goes, oh gosh, we have to tell them. Well, we tried, but they were too tired, and they were at least willing to see me in the room, but they were very uncomfortable. And we tried to read the story, and Alisha translated into Korean, but it just wasn't working. So I ended up talking to them and having some moments with them. But that night, Alicia's mom had a dream. And her whole family are a bunch of dreamers. And in Korean culture, at least in her family's culture, the dreams are significant. They pay attention to them. They really hear them. And the next morning, Alicia's mom goes, I don't like Jurri. She goes, why? I had a nightmare about him. Well, what was the dream? What was the nightmare? And her mom says, well, I saw this storm, and someone broke a flower pot. But I didn't read the story to them. And Alicia's like, that's Jurri's story. You had a dream about his story. It's about us. It's about us being okay to be married and everything. And her mom's well, nice story, nice interpretation, but I don't think so. Well, then sometime later, Alicia's dad warmed up to me, and he felt that it was okay, and then Mom finally came on board later. This story about the broken flower pot really touched our lives and gave us some confidence that our marriage was really divine, really set up, and that it was going to be resolved with her family. And so it turned out to be a wonderful experience in the end, and we were able to get married. And of course, we have Kylie. So that's one of the stories I experienced myself from the Legends of the Wind. For example, there's another one, I'll be brief. I had a friend in LA named Charles who was an amazing keyboard artist and singer. He was at a rehearsal in Pasadena. And I got a download of the story for him. So I went to the rehearsal, and after they were taking a break, I read it to him. He loved it so much. Now, Charles at the time was a really big guy. Now, I'm 6'3", and Charles loved his story, his legend, so much that he grabbed me, hold me, and picked me up and threw me into the air and caught me. And he says, this is the best prophetic word I've ever received. And he really, really was touched by that story. Now, if you guys who are watching are very interested and are interested in this story and want to have one for yourself, we can go to our website at legendsofthewind.com. Go to the store. We have 5 free stories available for free. Typically, they cost $250 for our own custom story. So if you're interested and want to sign up, go ahead and go to the store and receive a story, and we'll get you on board. The only stipulation is that you will be a guest on my show, and you will be able to receive it live for the first time. I will not interview you. I will not research you. And I will get the story and see what happens. That's the risk I take every time. Sound good, Kylie?
Yeah.
Cool. Guys, sorry for the reverb about the microphones. I do not know how to fix it at this time, so appreciate the comment, Mr. Pat Cornwell. So now we're going to go into our story for tonight. The big question of tonight is, what distance would you go to be with someone you love? And that story that we're going to talk about is for Kylie. And it's in our book, Legends of the Wind, Volume 1. And thank you for those of you who purchased it. And, what do you think? You want to talk about your story? You want to read it?
It's nice. I purchased it for free.
That's awesome. So everyone, welcome to the show. So let's just dive into Kylie's story.
Before we start, I want to tell you guys something.
What is it?
Well, he usually gives sometimes kind of really always give the stories on birthdays.
Uh-huh.
But instead of him getting it on my birthday, he got it on his birthday.
Ah, that's true. Kylie's story I did get on my birthday. So, ready to read? Okay. All right. It's a present. Maybe it was a gift to both of us. The story is called Halfway There. Kylie walked down the street to the playground and held her hand in her dad's. They continued through the neighborhood and past many houses. Kylie asked, "Want to go down the slide with me?" "Sure," said Dad. "Want to push me in the swing too, Dad?" "Of course." "Do you want me to make you fly to the moon? I can push you really hard." "No, Dad, I want to go to Saturn. It's my favorite planet, you know." Dad just smiled, and they arrived at the playground. Tons of kids were there, and the activity was quite intense. All the children were running around and having such a great time. They loved every minute, every second of the play. Dad, look at me. Do you see me? Do you think I can be the most amazing astronaut?" Kylie was up high at the tower of the playground's castle. She popped her head out of the circle window and smiled. She was so happy. "Kylie, you are an amazing astronaut." She hopped up and down and headed for the slide. She was a bit too fast, and she suddenly slipped on a piece of the metal slide and fell. She went headfirst down the slide. She cried out for help. "Ah, help!" Dad ran as fast as he could and caught her on the slide, picked her up and held her in his arms. She cried badly. Dad rocked her in his arms to calm her down. "My arm, Dad, my arm." Dad carried her to a park bench and looked her over. Her arm had a road burn rash on it because she fell and rubbed against the slide's metal. It was bright red. Dad quickly grabbed his water bottle and pulled the cold liquid onto it. Kylie grabbed a hold tighter onto her dad. "Ooh. It's okay, little one. You just had a nasty fall. It's okay." Kylie stopped crying and held on to her father. Dad continued to rock and cradle and got quiet for a moment. "Dad, do you think I can be a great astronaut and get to Saturn? I want to build a house on its rings and live there forever." "Yes, Kylie, you can do whatever you wish, whatever you want. I will support you." Kylie looked up at her father's eyes. She still had 2 big teardrops in them. "Will you come with me to Saturn? I want to make a cake for your birthday there. We can see all the stars and talk to the aliens. They can have cake too." "Of course I'll come. I'd love to have cake with aliens." Kylie smiled and got her energy back. "Let's go to the swing, Dad. You can push me to Saturn." Kylie was now feeling much better. They got up and ran to the swing set, but all the kids were using them. They had to wait. Kylie was not happy. "Dad, we missed the launch again. We have to wait until Saturday." She looked up into the sky and squinted her eyes. "I think the weather delayed us." But just at that moment, another mom across the way called for her kids on the swing set. 2 little girls immediately swung up high and jumped off. They flew through the air and landed on the sand. Kylie squealed in delight and ran to take an empty seat. Dad ran too and got into position. Kylie kicked her legs and tried to get started, but she couldn't make a move. "Dad, push me to Saturn. It's countdown time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Dad started to push. "No, Dad, too soon." He stopped. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. Dad stepped back and gave her a push. Kylie squealed in delight. "Whee! Dad, we're going to Saturn. I can see the moon. I can see the stars. Are you coming?" "I'm right behind you." Dad stretched out his arms onto his side and zipped around like a space shuttle. He made engine noises with his mouth. Shh. Kylie loved it. "We're gonna make it, Dad." Kylie kicked her feet and swung back and forth. Dad pushed her here and there and kept the momentum. "Dad, what is across the Milky Way? How far can we go? All the way?" "It's many light years across the Milky Way. It would take a long time to reach the other side." "Will you go with me? Anywhere?" "Of course, anywhere." Kylie smiled. "Even halfway there?" "Absolutely." "But isn't halfway there near the big black hole at the center? We'd get stuck there forever." "Kylie, I will protect you from any black hole. We'd be fine." "Okay, let's go to Saturn instead. I still have to make cake for your birthday." Still swinging, they were having a great time. Kylie kept looking into the sky and saw the faint crescent moon. She got even more energy and kicked even more. "Boost your engines, ignite. It's time to go to the moon and then Saturn. Or even halfway there. It's time for my dad's birthday." And with one big kick, Kylie swung back and pushed her body out of the swing. Just at the moment of the highest point of the swing, she flew through the air and sailed. Dad's eyes opened wide, and he ran as fast as he could and miraculously caught Kylie in his arms. Kylie laughed in delight. "Oh, Kylie, tell me first before you do that. I don't want to take you to the hospital." Kylie pouted. "But I thought we were going to Saturn." Dad stopped and smiled. "Right. We're going right now." Dad placed Kylie on the ground and started to run back down the sidewalk. Kylie ran after him. Together they held out their arms like wings and made rocket noises with their mouths. Shh! In their imagination, they flew up and off the ground and into the sky, far high into the clouds and above the Earth's atmosphere. They passed the moon, past Mars, past Jupiter, and then Saturn. They sat in a wonderful, cute house sitting on the rings of Saturn and had cake with aliens. It was Dad's best birthday ever.
Now, that was the best story I ever heard.
Inceptio. Thanks, Kylie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. So, how was your day, Kylie?
It was was really it was really good. Even though I had to clean my playroom, it was still fantastic. I loved how this all worked out.
Okay.
It took a little bit of the brain, but it all worked out good.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you had a good day. So let me ask about the story. What's your favorite part of the story?
My favorite part of the story is when we're going swinging.
Cool. And you obviously like the story, right?
Yeah, but when I heard it for the first time, when it went up and through the air, I was kind of a little scary, so I would get hurt again. But I didn't.
Okay, cool. So what about the question, what distance would you go to be with someone you love? How does your story talk about that?
Not halfway there, all the way.
That's awesome. Cool. So do you think that me and Mom need to go all the way to help you because we love you? Right. So what do you think about the relationship of Kylie and Dad in the story?
And the relationship is very, very strong. Every second it's getting closer and closer and closer.
And that's a good thing, right? Right. So what about when you got hurt in the story? What do you think about that?
I think that basically you're going up higher and higher with your joy, and then you just suddenly go down and down and down and down. But then unexpectedly you keep going up and up and up and up and up, even higher than you eventually were.
Okay. So when you got hurt though in the story, what did Dad do?
He protected me because he loved me.
Yeah. Is that good? Yeah. And so we want that for everybody in their family, right? Not everybody in their families has that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
So we want to see people who are hurting or needing love to feel loved. And so may this story inspire them and encourage them in that. So why do you like this story overall?
Why I like it overall is because, well, there's many answers. I love you, you love me. It talks about my life. It's a fun story. It ends with a happy ending.
And why do you think other kids who hear this story, I know that we have some watching right now. Micah, thank you very much. Joe, thank you for watching. People in Korea are watching right now. So hello. How would this story encourage other kids?
I think it would encourage them to know that it'll end with a happy ending. There will probably usually be a little down area, but it'll always go up.
Good. So we have hope for them and encouragement for them, right? Awesome.
I hope they have hope.
Now, I have a question. Do you have anything that you want to ask me about the story? Anything come to mind?
What's the main how do you get these stories, basically?
How? Like all the stories or this one?
Or basically example for this one.
Well, if I remember right, when it was coming up to be my birthday, I knew that you had asked for a story. So I wanted to be a person to encourage you to give you your first story. So it did happen on my birthday, yes, but it is a story for you too, right? And so I got the download one night just before my birthday, and we were at Grandpa and Grandma's house, and I read it to you that day. Wasn't that great? Remember?
Ooh, it was so nice. If I remember right, we were sitting on some chairs with the table between us.
And we were outside, right? Right. So how did you feel when you first heard that story?
It felt nice, especially that when we were doing it, we were at the playground, and like a bench, we were sitting on chairs, and we were outside, and so we were outside there too. It kind of felt like felt really nice.
Okay.
Especially, I think it was like springtime. So all those green grass, nice trees.
Right. So how did it make you feel?
It made me feel happy, really, really happy and blessed.
That's awesome. So if you guys, we want to remind you about our promotion. If you want to receive from me a free story from Legends of the Wind, go to legendsthewind.com, go to the store. You can also look at the link below in this video on YouTube. And at the top of the store is a free offer for up to 5 stories. So sign up. We'd love to have you on the show. I'd love to write you a story and encourage you and empower you and strengthen you. And so hopefully her story about what happened tonight and then some of the things I said at the beginning of the show would inspire you and encourage you to have your own story as well. These are awesome stories. They're for everybody. And even though they're written for a certain person, everyone can benefit from them. So I want to thank you so much for watching us tonight. And if you are, we want to remind you that we are a weekly show. This is Monday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Mountain, every Monday night. And if you want to write us, send an email to support@legendsofthewind.com. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the bell button for future notifications. So, Kylie, thanks for having me, or being my guest tonight. He can see you in the camera. So, thanks everyone, guys. Hello, father-in-law. I don't speak Korean. I'm struggling at that, but thank you.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. Oppenham. Cool. Well, thank you so much for watching tonight. We appreciate your time and spending time with us on sharing a story called Halfway There for Kylie. So, I want to say goodbye?
Before, bye. 안녕하세요, 할아버지.
Okay, thanks. Have a good night, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.